It started as a harmless joke, or at least that's what I thought. My husband, Ethan, and I had been married for 3 years, and like any couple, we loved teasing each other. I had a close friend named Ryan, someone I'd known since college. Funny, kind, always there when life got messy. Ethan had met him a few times, and though they got along politely, I could sense the quiet tension beneath the surface. I always brushed it off as normal. After all, not every man feels comfortable with his wife having a male best friend, even if it's innocent. But that night, sitting at dinner, I decided to tease Ethan a little when Ryan texted me. My phone buzzed, and I smiled, reading his message about some inside joke from years ago. Ethan looked up from his plate and asked, "What's funny?" I smirked and said lightly, "Oh, just Ryan. He's asking if I miss him more than you." It was supposed to be a joke, but Ethan didn't laugh. His fork stopped mid-air. "And what did you say?" he asked, his tone even, but his eyes told a different story, sharp, searching. I shrugged, still smiling, though the mood had shifted. "Relax, it's just a joke. You know how we mess around." He nodded slowly and set his fork down. "Yeah," he said quietly. "I know." The rest of dinner was silent. When he stood up to clear the table, I realized he hadn't touched most of his food. "Ethan," I said, trying to laugh it off. "You're not seriously upset, are you?" He looked at me for a long moment. "Would you be upset if I joked about missing another woman more than you?" That hit me harder than I expected. "It's not the same," I said quickly. "Ryan's just a friend. He's like family." Ethan sighed and rubbed the back of his neck. "I believe you. But it's not about what you said, it's about how you said it. The way you smiled, the way you laughed. You looked different." I didn't know what to say. I wanted to defend myself, to tell him he was overreacting, but deep down, I knew what he meant. There was a comfort between Ryan and me that I hadn't shared with Ethan in a long time. Not because of anything romantic, but because life had gotten busy, heavy, routine. Ryan reminded me of the easy version of myself, the one before responsibilities, bills, and expectations. And maybe that was the problem. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying Ethan's expression, that quiet hurt in his eyes. Around midnight, I went downstairs to find him sitting on the couch, scrolling through old photos on his phone. "You're still awake," I whispered. He didn't look up. "Couldn't sleep," he said simply. "I keep thinking about what you said." I sat beside him, guilt twisting in my chest. "Ethan, I swear it was just a joke. There's nothing going on with Ryan." "I know," he said softly. "But it still made me realize something. You laugh with him differently. When I tell a joke, you smile politely. But when he texts, you light up. I miss being that person for you." His words broke something inside me because they weren't angry, they were honest, vulnerable. And he was right. Somewhere between the comfort of marriage and the chaos of everyday life, I'd stopped giving him the version of me that used to make him feel special. "You are that person," I said quickly, grabbing his hand. "I've just been distracted, tired." "No," he interrupted gently. "You don't have to explain. I get it. People drift. I just don't want to lose you to someone who reminds you of who you used to be." His voice cracked slightly, and that's when tears finally filled my eyes. I hadn't meant to hurt him. I hadn't even realized how my small comments, my harmless jokes, had built invisible walls between us. "You're not losing me," I said, squeezing his hand. "If anything, you just reminded me how much I've taken you for granted." He looked at me then, his expression softening, though the pain still lingered. "I don't need perfection, Emily," he whispered. "I just need honesty." I nodded, unable to speak. The next morning, I texted Ryan, thanking him for his friendship but explaining that I needed to step back for a while, to focus on my marriage, on the person who had chosen me every single day without fail. Ryan understood, and that was that. But the silence that followed wasn't empty. It was healing. Ethan and I started rebuilding, slowly, quietly, with more conversations, more laughter, and fewer jokes that blurred lines. And whenever my phone buzzed, it wasn't the sound that mattered. It was the choice I made to look up first, to meet Ethan's eyes, and remember that the love we build in honesty lasts longer than any comfort we find in old memories.